One NBA insider dropping a bombshell report on one of the biggest superstars in the league, Giannis Antetokounmpo. He is reportedly looking for other options for the first time in his career. Could the Memphis Grizzlies jump on that? Who would they need to trade? And what would that look like with Giannis and Ja Morant on the same team here in Memphis? But what's going on, everybody? Jared Alator with another episode of Grizzlies Digest for you. But first, we want to thank you all who have supported us so far in our young channel. Right now, 11% of you are subscribed, but for the 89% of you who are not subscribed yet, it's so easy. Just smash that subscribe button down below so you never miss another update from us. But let's get into that content right now because this is extremely important. Giannis reportedly open-minded about exploring a trade for the first time in his career. That's per Shams of ESPN, one of the league's biggest superstars, could be on the move. So we've talked about KD yesterday and what kind of package we'd have to deal with that. You can catch the video on that for yesterday's video. That was the last video before this one. And then as we get into another article by Paris Sharkey from the Grizzlies fan-sided page, huge bombshell news about Giannis' future should have the Grizzlies' attention. Of course, it goes into why the Grizzlies should trade for Antetokounmpo because, as Parrish says over here in the first paragraph, it's been questioned if Ja Morant can be the best player on a championship team with his size and style of play, which would make looking into adding Giannis feasible to think about. Giannis would immediately be the best player on the Grizzlies and make Ja Morant into arguably the second best option in the NBA. Also, the Grizzlies have a package that could intrigue Milwaukee with the potential of adding either Bane or Jackson Jr. or both players, along with picks and young players the Grizzlies' house, about that. The fit of Giannis and Ja could be questioned due to both players' inability to consistently shoot from the perimeter, but surrounding those two with shooters would be the next step in completing the roster. So you think about Giannis, and I think he's been overshadowed by a lot of injuries and a declining Milwaukee roster. I mean, obviously this is not the same Milwaukee roster as we saw 4 years ago when they won the NBA championship against Phoenix. They've lost Chris Middleton from the trade with Kyle Kuzma, and Kuzma proved to be just really ineffective in that playoff series against Indiana. This is also the second straight year that Lillard has gone down due to injury in the same Milwaukee series, but this is just a declining roster. I mean, this is not anything of, oh, Giannis is just getting worse. I don't know, maybe he's on the decline. I mean, that's not happening at all for anybody that thinks that. I mean, I think that's a very fringe minority if anyone does think that, but I don't think that's happening at all. I think Giannis is still one of the greatest players in the league. He's going to be in the Hall of Fame. He's one of the greatest power forwards of all time, and he's proven it time and time again with his ability to attack the rim. He has such great speed and agility for someone who's his size. And you think about taking away Bane and Jackson Jr. for a package, maybe a couple of other young guys like Vince Williams or Cam Spencer, maybe a future pick as well, a first-round pick to add into that. It could be worth exploring for Milwaukee, but that would be a huge uprise. And I think when you're comparing the possible Durant trade with a possible Giannis trade, I'd say you have to give up a bit more for Giannis than KD. Giannis is much younger, and KD, he's got his shot, his unstoppable shot. One of the best shot creators, shot makers in league history. But you've got KD, who's kind of on his last leg. He's not slowing down by any means, but with Giannis, he's such a dynamic playmaker. It'd be way more of a long-term project for Giannis in Memphis than it obviously would be for KD, just simply because of age. Okay? So you got to take into those factors as to which guy you want. Do you want a short-term championship project? Do you want a long-term championship project with Giannis and Ja? it's really something that Zach Kleiman's going to really have to look at. But either way, you're looking at Giannis Antetokounmpo, who's grown into such an amazing superstar. Came from very little when he was 18 years old. Didn't even know if he was going to stay in the league. And he came in below 200 pounds, and now he's around 250. And one of the most dynamic playmakers in the entire league. He speaks Memphis basketball. What I mean by that is Memphis basketball, they come from grit and grind. They're nice, hardworking people, and they just do their job. They work hard, play hard, but they have a good time doing it. And I feel like Giannis kind of speaks, his story going into the NBA kind of speaks Memphis. And what I mean by that is he's had to overcome a lot of adversity. I think plenty of Memphis people overcome a lot of adversity. I think he would identify and relate immediately to these Memphis fans. And obviously, some people don't think that way, though. Some people don't want Giannis to move. Some people want him to stay in Milwaukee. In the words of a superstar or former superstar Dwight Howard, he says, "Don't leave Giannis," coming from someone who been there. That was earlier this morning from Dwight Howard. I would assume he's speaking from his days in Orlando and how he left to join forces with the Los Angeles Lakers, eventually the Houston Rockets, and then he just kind of became a journeyman around the league. I think he played for the Atlanta Hawks for a season or two at some point. But I think this could be a really good move for Memphis. I think they have to give up, like I said, just a little bit more if they want Giannis compared to if they want KD. But, of course, Zach Kleiman, again, he's been in the camp of saying, we got to make moves. We got to make changes. And I think this is one that they could honestly pull off because they got a lot of young pieces, a lot of young talent to be able to pull this off. And, of course, Memphis has done well in the draft. I mean, look at Jalen Wells. Look at Zach Edey. Some of the other young pieces that have had great games. Look at Cam Spencer, Jay Huff sometimes. G.G. Jackson. I mean, they've all these young guys have some kind of attraction toward them. And I think it might be a huge overhaul that may be worth the shot for Giannis to get a chance in Memphis. But that's going to do it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you could like this video, you can like this video, comment on this video, share this video, leave a comment down below on if you'd want Giannis in Memphis. And if so, who would Memphis have to trade in order to get such a attractive piece such as Antetokounmpo? But thank you so much for watching the video, guys. We'll have more off-season content for you later on this week and onward as we speak. And we thank you so much for watching the video. Jared Alator for Grizzlies Digest saying so long and peace.